you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa, I'll take you to the candy shop. Well, one taste of what I got. I'll have you spending all you got. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa, you can have it your way, girl. How do you want it? You gon' back that thing up or should I push you up on it? Temperature rising, okay, let's go to the next level. Dance floor jam-packed, hot as a tea kettle. Break it down for you now, baby, it's simple.
I see through the light, no more disguise. The scenery's crashing down to let all the truth be found. Didn't belong, had to move on to somewhere that I could be. Open my eyes and see all of the beauty in front of me, giving back all the energy that I never felt.
Hello everybody, how are you doing on this wonderful Friday? Welcome to the full avatar tutorial today, where we'll be going over every single part from start to finish of how to import your VRChat avatar, how to do edits, how to add all that fancy stuff like dynamic bones and stuff. And we're gonna get started right here, right now, with the prerequisites. The stuff you need. Thank you, Santos, for gifting a tier 1 to Ichi, by the way. Welcome, Ichi. Welcome to the subs. Yikes. Okay, so let's get on over here. We're gonna start off with the prerequisites, the stuff you will need for making your own avatar. If you want to go to this page, this is the link right here. Hop on over. You have all the stuff linked here. I prepared all of this for you guys. Let's get over the prerequisites real quick. So, first up, you need a 3D modeling tool. My choice here is Blender for two reasons. First up, it is free to use. Everybody can get it. You can get it over here if you click on Blender. You can download it here. This is my tool of choice. This is what I'm going to be going over here. And this is what I'm working it with. There's people that use 3ds Max or Maya or stuff, but in my opinion, Blender is like the best thing to use. It's a bit hard to learn in the beginning, but you will get used to it. So, our 3D modeling tool of choice will be Blender for today, or in general. And the second thing I was talking about, Cats for Blender. This is the plugin specifically for Blender, which makes avatar creation a lot easier. So, this will give you a direct download here. You can hop on over and download this plugin. I will go over it. I will explain every single part of it. Don't worry about it. We're just going over the prerequisites real quick. Then optional, you can get XPS tools, also known as XNA Lara Mesh, which is basically... Holy fucking shit. Chill. 10 gifted subs. Chill. Holy shit, boy. Can we get some hypers in the chat for our boy Chill? Holy fucking shit, Chill. Are you okay, my man? 10 gifted subs. Holy shit, boy. Give me some hypers, boys. Yo, let me pause the music here real quick. Ten bashes is gifting 10 subs. Thank you so much, Jill. You fucking crazy. Holy shit, my man. You're crazy. Holy shit. We're gonna be here listening to this a little bit, dude. You're absolutely insane, Chill. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Holy fuckles. Okay, once this is done, we can get over here to our prerequisites again. Jesus Christ. Chill, you're fucking crazy. Thank you so much, my dude. Come on. One more time. There we go. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Chill. You're amazing. And also thank you, Santos, for the gifted sub. 3 months in a row for Natu. Amazing. It takes mods and then active users bashes. Kata is mod, that's why he got one. Okay. Let's get right back into here. Thank you so much, Chill. You're absolutely amazing, dude. Okay, back into here. We were here. Prerequisites. Optional stuff. XPS tools, basically, this works with cats for importing stuff of the XPS format. It's useful for like weapons and stuff, because those are usually in XPS format. There's a lot of them. So this is optional. I would recommend installing it. Then we need Unity, obviously, and we need this right here. This exact version, which is Unity 5.6.3 P1. This is the version that VRChat is running on. You need exactly this version. You can download it right here. It's all linked. Then you need the VRChat SDK. You have to log into your account, and then you have a button in the middle here which says download SDK. Go ahead and download that. You need that for uploading avatars, obviously. We're gonna use shaders. There's two shaders I can personally recommend. One is Cube's Unity shaders. This is also a direct download. No, it's not. It's actually taken you to the release page. You can download it right here. Basically, this will make your avatar blend in a lot more with the environments. It's gonna make it look a lot better. And then we have Gigi's Toon shaders, which are also really good. It's a bit more advanced, but it's also harder to use. Like, there's a lot more settings, a lot more customization. You can do overlay textures and shit. It's really complicated. So if you really just you're doing this for the first time, I would recommend Cube shaders. So 3 more optional things here. Dynamic bones on the Unity Asset Store. Basically gives you the option to add hair movement, tail movement, skirt movement, all of that stuff. Makes your avatars a lot more realistic. It's basically a thing everyone has at this point. And muscle editor, which is useful for animations because it allows you to tweak bone movement. You can do the same stuff without it, but it's a bit harder. This is basically a convenience tool. It makes it easier to work with. And last thing right here, which is a Dropbox link. It's a Vicene fix script, which modifies a part of the VRChat SDK. As far as I know, this modification of the VRChat SDK is allowed because all it does is fix up the auto detect button for the Vicenes. So this is really useful to have. And last thing we need is an image editing software of your choice. I have 4 things here I can recommend. Obviously Photoshop, which is the tool I'm using. Makes everything a lot easier. It has a lot of tools which are really convenient for avatar texturing. And PaintNet, obviously, it's the simplest tool. Really easy to get. It's a bit more advanced than the normal Microsoft Paint. There's Krita, which is closer to Photoshop. It's also a free tool. And we have GIMP, which is a free tool that people tend to use. I'm not a big fan of it, but there's a lot of people that use it. Like my mod over here, Wolf. Yes, and these are the prerequisites you will need for making avatars in VRChat. This looks like a long list, but this is like a one-time download, one-time setup thing. And then you're done with this. So, once you have all this stuff downloaded, everything you choose to use, then we're gonna come over here to beginning our stuff right here, which is Blender Part 1. So, let's start up. You just downloaded Blender, you installed it, you have no idea what to do. You're gonna be greeted by this, which is the Blender startup window. This will be empty here, you won't have recent tabs. You can't see it, it's too tiny, then open it up yourself. Man, Tedio. You have it right here. You can open up yourself and read with it. I can make it a bit bigger too though. Is this better to read? Yes? Yes, okay. Let's hop on back in here. So, you will be greeted by this screen. You just right click and get rid of it. Your scene will have a camera and a cube in here. All you do is press A twice and press the delete key and then press this to confirm. This will be what you will be greeted with. And we're gonna set up our Blender for our Blender here for use with MMD and for VRChat avatars. So, first thing you want to do is go to File, User Preferences. You're gonna click on Add-ons, and you click Install Add-on from File. And what you do is, you will navigate over to a folder you made, where you have all your stuff. Or you should have made a folder where you collect all the prerequisites I listed. And that means you have a nice folder, if I can find it, because I'm smart. Let me find it, there we go. Here we are. This is my tutorial folder here. And what you do is you hop on over to where you have your cat's zip file, and you click on your zip file and you click install add-on from file. Search for cats here. Make sure to enable it. If it decides to actually enable, there we go. You can do the same thing with the XPS tools. Click install from file. Click this, install add-on from file. Enable it here. It's called XNA LARA XPS import export. This right here. Save your settings. Close this. And you've got your basic setup done. So, now we're in Blender. We have no idea how to navigate around, right? So, basic navigation in Blender is really easy. Dragging with your middle mouse button is rotation. So you hold your middle mouse button pressed and you can drag it around, you will rotate. Holding your middle mouse button while pressing shift will result in you moving. You pan your camera around, you can move around. Which means you can move around anywhere like this. And then scrolling is zooming in and out. You have some hotkeys on your numpad. Let me turn on screencast keys here real quick so you can see what I'm pressing. And I have the wrong version of screencast keys on. Give me 1 second. You don't need to do this, this is just for me. There you go. You see my keys down here, the stuff I'm pressing. Okay. So, you have hotkeys on your numpad. 1 will put you in front of your model, always like in front view. 3 will put you in side view. With 9 you can rotate by 180 degrees, which means you can go from front view to back view, or from side view to the other side view. Just do it on here. I'm probably gonna upload it to YouTube anyway. I'm not sure yet, Teddy. I'm gonna see. So, yes, that's the thing. With 5 you can hop into an easier edit mode, which puts it into a 2D view instead of a 3D view. It's really useful for zooming in closer. I basically only edit in the zoomed in 2D view. Makes everything a lot easier, especially when you're editing on a model. With 7 you can go to a top view. With 9 you can obviously go down then again, because it rotates by 180 degrees. And that's how you navigate around your camera right here. So, once you're familiar with your camera controls, there's two toolbars in Blender. T, which is this one, which is the big toolbar, and N, which is this side panel. You want to have both of them activated, basically, because you're going to use both of them. You're going to use this one, you're going to use this one. You're going to use this one because of the MMD shading stuff. And also because there's a lot of things here that are going to be useful. And over here you have your cats tool, if you have the plugin enabled, which is the next thing we're gonna get to. The basics of cats. So you have your environment set up right here right now, and you're ready to get started with your first avatar. And you need cats. So you go to the cats tab over here and you're gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is this? So, cats, really easy. You have model options, which you're gonna be using a lot. I would always keep this tab open. You're gonna have eye tracking and visemes, which you're gonna use probably once on every model. You have the optimization tab, which you're gonna be using at least once probably. And you have bone parenting, which is basically for reparenting bones. I'm gonna go over all of these do with our first avatar. So, you're ready to get started. You have your avatar downloaded. I hope you guys know where to get avatars. You just Google MMD avatar, and you scroll through DeviantArt till you find something you like with a download it, unzip it, and then this is where you are. Hop on over here, click on import model, and you will navigate to your folder where you want to go. And I have this model right here. You're gonna navigate to the folder, and you're gonna have a PMX file, or if it is an XNA LARA model like a sword or something, you have an XPS file. Just double click on it, it's gonna start loading up. There's some models that don't work, don't worry about it. You're gonna stumble over some that don't work, and you're gonna have to use something else. So, we have our model imported, but it's super far away. So what we do is, we right click to select it, and we press the comma key on our numpad, or the period key on our numpad, I'm sorry. And you'll be zoomed in on your model. And it's gonna look like this, and you're gonna be like, wow, where are all the textures? Well, don't worry about it. If you go to your toolbar here and you scroll down to MMD shading and you click on shadeless, you're gonna be greeted with this. Sometimes you have purple overlays on the textures like this and this, and that's completely okay, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna click over here on fix model. That's the first thing you want to do after importing it, and it's gonna do a little bit of the cat's magic here. And whoops, these are gone. It's all fixed up. We have our model here, but there's like these annoying bones here. I can't see my model. So what you do is you right click to select your armature, and you can press H to hide that part for now. You can have a look at your model if it looks like you wanted to have it. This looks okay. So wait, where are my bones now? I hit them. How do I get them back? Really easy. Hold Alt key and press H, and you get unhide everything that was hidden. You have it back. So as I said, I'm usually editing stuff in the 2D mode, which is this mode right here, by pressing numpad 5. Simply because it's easier. You can zoom in a lot further. Like if I was in the normal mode here, I would be in the middle of my model. Like it's glitching out. I can't really edit this stuff. So if I press numpad 5, it's a lot easier. I can press the period key again to get centered in on this. Can rotate around. Basic camera controls. So I have my avatar in here. Now, what do I do with it? Well, fixing the model basically did most of the work for us. The bones get corrected to what VRChat uses. And basically this model would be ready to use now. This is literally ready to use already. But obviously we're not happy with this. It doesn't have eye tracking. It doesn't have vice seams. Maybe I'm not happy with some of the textures. So what do I do? Well, let's say we want to add vice seams to our model. We have eye tracking and vice seam tabs here. It's really easy. But sometimes there will be like weird Chinese symbols here. It doesn't know which shape keys to use, for the vice seam, so for the mouth movement, because these are not translated. So what you do is you hop on over to model options, and you just translate your shape keys, bones, meshes, materials. You just hit every button once. And now if I scroll down here, oh look at that, it knows exactly which ones to use. So eye tracking, usually the default settings are okay, so you just click create eye tracking. You can zoom in on your model, go up a little bit. You can click start eye testing, and you can see if your eyes make sense, if they have good movement ranges. This looks really good. You can reset that. You can test if your blinking works. This seems to work perfect. So we can stop testing. And then we have our vice seams over here, which is basically the mouth movement. So we click create vice seams, and this will create a set of vice seams that works with VRChat. And what if I want to look at them? Well, easy. You select your model, make sure to not select the armature but your model, and then over here, let me turn off my event list so you can see this. Over here, there's this little icon which is basically a triangle, and the three corners are highlighted. So you click this, and then you have your shape keys here, and this is what we're looking for. And then there's like VRC, AA, CH, DD, E. These are the shape keys it created. So I want to look and see if they make sense, if they look good. So what you do is you select the one you want to preview, and you take this value slider and you move it up to 100, and you can see this is the A. This looks good. Let's see, how does the E look? Yeah, this all looks good. This all makes sense. And you can look at other stuff here too, like the shape keys your model has, like facial expressions, happy faces and stuff. This is all on here. You can preview all of these. You can have a look at them. Really easy. The old shape keys, like the base shapes, will still be here, but VRChat is not going to use them. You're going to assign these ones that you generated. Okay, so we've created our first basic avatar. We've made sure all of the bones make sense and work with VRChat. We've created eye tracking, so our eyes move in game, and we have blinking animations. And we created vice seams, so our mouth moves when we talk in game. Relatively easy. Well, let's say I'm not happy with how this hair looks. I don't like the color of it. I want to make it red. So what I do is I hop on over into the model folder, And, well, which of these textures is the hair? Like, there's weird stuff here. This looks a bit like hair. It's called hair, but like, there's so much stuff here. I don't really know which one is which. So, what you do is, you hop on over here, you click separate by materials, and your model will get separated by each and every material. Each material will be turned into its own object. And then you can just select your hair, and you can see if you have the right thing selected by pressing G and moving your mouse around. This is basically the tool to move stuff. And yes, this seems to be the right thing. So we right click to move it back where it was. We don't wanna apply the movement. And what I do is you click over here. This is the little material icon. It's like a little sphere with a little black triangle, another black triangle, some orange triangles. You click on this and you will have the hair material here. Once you have this selected, you can click on the tab next to it, which is the texture tab. You will see which texture the hair uses. You can turn this on and off to make sure it's the right thing. And then you will see down here is a file path in image. And you can see hairmiku.png. So this is our hair file. So what do? We throw it into Photoshop or your image editing tool. Hey, that's our boy Frost right here, who's happy. How you doing, Frost? Okay, so so we have our texture here, and we want to recolor it. So in Photoshop, this is fairly easy. If I just want to change the color, I can press Ctrl U to change the hue and saturation, and just slide it around till I have a color I like. I like this. I want to add a bit more saturation to it. Make it like, I don't know, some pinkish kind of color maybe. Like this. I'm happy with this. I'm saving it. I'm hopping back into Blender. Oh, the texture hasn't updated. How do I fix this? Relatively easy. The same way you would check where the texture is. There's the file path. You click this little refresh icon here on the file path. You know what? I'm gonna turn this off as well, so you guys can see this. Where's my? There we go. Here. The file path. I click this little icon, this little refresh icon, and there you go. Your texture has been reloaded. Oh, this looks cool. The color scheme doesn't make any sense right now. Oh, there's like this eyebrow. I can't really see it, so I'm gonna select once again the hair, press H to hide it, and I'm gonna see, oh, this eyebrow, this blue doesn't really make sense. I want to have a similar color to my hair. So what you do is, you look where your face texture is, which is this one right here. You open it up, and in Photoshop, you make a new layer. You make sure you have your brush tool selected. Shortcut is B. You hold your Alt key, you drag around, you find a color you like. And then this up here is the eyebrow texture for TDA model. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna paint over this real quick. Did I make this myself? I got it from DeviantArt, which is where you can get most models. What you do is you hop on over to Google and you type in MMD model download. And you will be greeted by either MMD many model downloads or MMD downloads galore. You can click on this and there's tons and tons of models. You can scroll through, you can find something you like. Download it and import it the way I showed it. Really easy. So, once again here, we're gonna paint on over this texture. Thank you, man, no worries. If you have any more questions, go and ask them right ahead. I'm here to answer your questions today. So we paint over this, but like the eyebrow texture underneath isn't really visible, so what we do is we just change this to color. There we go. Make sure to merge your layer again, save it. Once again, go in here, reload your texture, and there we go. We can unhide our hair again. This fits, there we go. But now our model is in parts because we separated by materials, right? So what you do is you click join meshes all. There you go. It's gonna do its magic again. We have one model. And this model is ready for use. Yes, make sure that your models do not have nipples or a vagina, because that can get you banned if you use it in public worlds. It's always best to check over your body texture here. Your body texture can look different in a lot of ways. Yes, I will show how to do emotes. You can check the schedule here. Real quick here. I can throw it up on stream as well. we will go over animations over here in the Unity part here, adding animations. We're gonna go through every single part, up to really more heavy editing like atlasing your textures and stuff. So we're gonna go through all of this. We're gonna hop in Unity in a second anyway, because we're already here at retexturing. I just showed that. So let's say your model. I mean, I know what this texture is because I know how to work with TDA models and I know where stuff is. But you'll generally be able to find nipples and stuff really easily because you have like a pokey part on your texture. And you're just gonna, let's say if I had one here and I wanted to get rid of it, what I would do is I would take a soft brush in Photoshop and I would just paint over it slightly to make sure to get rid of it. Merge it in, save the texture, get rid of it, easy as that. And well, this is our first avatar done. Now, what do I do with it? What you do is, when you're done with it and you're happy with how it looks, a thing I would recommend is going to optimize material and combine same materials. You don't have to do this if you had it checked up here and you click fix model, which is checked on default, so this is just the thing I do just to make sure everything's combined. So once you have this done, hop on over export model. I want to put it in the same folder that I have my stuff in. Here we go. And I'm gonna export the FBX here. How many polys is this model? Yeah, let's not worry about it. I'm not gonna go over decimation. You can watch decimation tutorials. Decimation is fucking cancer. I'm not going over it in this tutorial. If you're interested in learning how to decimate your models, go ahead and look it up yourself. I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm not going through this. Let's just say it has a lot of polys, and I'm gonna do a really quick thing here that I'm gonna teach you later, just to make sure that we're not going over the poly limit. Just to make sure real quick. Just really quickly going over this, don't worry about this, I'll teach you this in a second. I'm just gonna do this real quick to make sure we're not going over the poly limit. Okay, once again, let me export this. Here we go. Now, it's always smart to keep your blend file, which is press Ctrl S for saving. Make sure you're in here and give it a name like model or whatever. And save the blend file so you can jump back into this project file and work on it. So we're done with the Blender part for now, which means we're gonna try and hop over into Unity, which is what you're gonna use to import your model to. So once you've got Unity installed, you're gonna be greeted by this wonderful screen here. You're not gonna have anything here. These are all my Unity projects. So what you do is you click new, and we're opening a new wonderful thingy here. New project. Just give it a name. Choose where you want to save it. Make sure it's 3D. Don't need to have analytics enabled. I'm just having it on. And you click create project. Unity is gonna do a little bit of work in the background, setting up your base scene. And you're gonna be greeted with this. This is your Unity base scene. And well, you're not gonna have a clue of what to do in the beginning. So let me just go over this real quick. First up, you wanna go into scene. This is your scene viewer. You wanna be in this most of the time. You don't need the services tab, so you can literally close this. And well, here you are. What is this wonderful Unity window? So this consists of your hierarchy over here, where you see every single thing that's in your scene currently. It's like a little list of things that you have placed in your scene. Down here you have your asset manager or your project manager, which is where all of your files are that you have in your project. This right here is the scene. It uses similar controls to what Blender uses, except that you're gonna select stuff with left click instead of right click. You rotate by holding right click. Middle mouse button is movement, and zooming is obviously zooming in, so scrolling is zooming in. You can also alternatively zoom in by holding your alt key and holding right click and moving left or right, which is a bit more of a more like detailed zoom, you could say. You have a bit more control over how far you're zooming in or how fast it's going. So we have our Unity scene. and we have no idea what to do. So we hop on over back to our prerequisites, into the Unity folder, and we have the VRChat SDK, we have the cubed Unity shaders, we have the Vicing fix, which is an optional thing if you want to have it. I have muscle editor here, and I'm gonna import dynamic bones straight from the Unity asset store. I think I have it downloaded right now. I don't have muscle editor downloaded right now, so I use the one I have downloaded already. So first thing you do is double click on your VRChat SDK. It's gonna start decompressing. It's gonna show import Unity package. You're just gonna click import. It's gonna do a little bit of work here. This may take a little bit because the VRChat SDK is actually pretty heavy. So you just wait real quick until it goes on over everything here. Let me also just change the text right here because we're now in the Unity part. Right into you. This takes a lot of time, and it takes this time on a good PC, so there we go. And now we see we have our VRChat SDK and a plugins folder imported into our project. Now, let's also import cubed Unity shaders same way. Can I pay you to make me in VRChat avatar? Yes, I do commissions, but depending on the difficulty, you're gonna pay up. Just a little heads up. You can look at my prices over here. I'm not on a Shanzo level of prices where I take like 150 for a model, but I also take a little bit of money for it. So we've got all of this. Let's also import our Vicing fix. If you want to use the Vicing fix, make sure to import your VRChat SDK first because it's going to override some VRChat SDK files. There we go. Literally only overrides one file to make the stuff work correctly. There we go. Now we've got all of this. I'm gonna drag my muscle editor into here as well. You can literally just drag and drop it into here. There we go, it's in here. And I'm also gonna go on over here and get my dynamic bones imported from the asset store. There we go, get this imported. There we go, go back to our scene view. And now we have everything set up that we need. What I like to do is, I like to make a folder here. Name it Prerequisites and move all of the stuff in here. So it's not clustering up my main asset folder. That makes sense. Like everything that is more of a background thing like shaders and stuff, I move that into here. Same with like particle packs and stuff. I just move that into a separate folder so I have everything a bit more organized and I don't have to worry about it. So let's hop on back to the model because we obviously want to import it, but like, do I really need to import all of this? And my answer is no. No, you don't have to. And what you can do is you can hop on over back to your model, hit File, External Data, Pack into Blend. It's gonna give you some errors sometimes, just ignore them. Save your model file. Make a new folder. Call it, I usually call it Final. So I'm gonna take this blend file, copy it into its own folder. Open this up. Just make sure to move it to a separate location. And all of the files are packed into the blend file right now, and we want to unpack them again, which means I click Unpack into Files, write to current directory, save my blend file again. And now I have a textures folder where all of the used textures are. And it's less stuff than what's usually in here because there's a lot more stuff in here that we don't need. So I will need to export an FBX once again into here because we obviously moved the folder. There we go, we have our FBX. So what you need to import into Unity right now is your FBX and your textures. Drag them over here. Let Unity import it. make sure to take the FBX and not the blend file. Unity does work with blend files, but the materials tend to fuck up. It assigns the wrong materials to wrong parts of the model, and you're gonna have a problem. So, I have my model down here now. First thing you want to do is select your model, go to the inspector, go to rig, change the animation type to humanoid and hit apply. If you don't change this to humanoid, it will not work with VRChat's animation set, and you're just gonna have a T-posing model, which is absolutely not what you want. Okay, so once this is done, we can go and drag it into our scene here, and it's gonna pop right into here. Let's navigate a little bit more over it. And you will see exactly what I mean with this doesn't look like it blends into VRChat, right? So this is where the shaders come in. What you do is you go to your materials, and you have all of this stuff in here. And what you want to do is you just select all of them. Like click the first one, hold the shift key, select the last one, go to shader, cube paradox, flatlit tune, and it's already gonna look a lot better. It's gonna look a lot more like the stuff in VRChat. Now, a lot of times you're gonna have problems with one-sided textures like here. These are transparent actually, so hop into rendering mode over here, change them to opaque. And now we have our stuff here. Sometimes you're gonna have the problem where like a dress will have a texture from one side, but not on the other one. This one doesn't have it, but some have it. What you do is, you select the material for the dress, and I'm gonna do it for every single one here. You change outline mode to tinted, change this to full white, and change width to 0. And what that does is, it will basically render every vert on both sides, which means it fixes invisible textures on one side. Really easy. That's if you use Cube Paradox's flatlit tune shader, that allows for this. So now we have the stuff here. Our eyes are like black. That's really weird, right? Oh, that's actually just because this model has like an overlay texture. So I take the face texture, change it to cutout, and you can basically, actually you can do that with like every single one of those. Instead of going opaque, change them to cutout. It's still on here. So this is like a really weird texture. It's probably one of these really weird textures. Some models have these overlays. If you want to get rid of them, this is like a Blender thing. We're gonna get over this in a second when we come to editing meshes and stuff. So this will be your basic first avatar import. You've got it all here. And now what do I do? Well, what you do is you click on VRChat SDK at the top here, click settings, log in. I'm on the wrong account here, so what you do is you just log in here. If you just recently started playing VRChat, you might not be allowed to publish worlds and avatars yet. That means you just have to play a little bit more, and then you're gonna be able to play and do stuff. It's gonna show Omega Cat here still because it's glitchy a bit. Let me just restart this real quick. Save the scene real quick as a model. Let me just restart this real quick. There we go, and Cubed Paradox's shader fucked up. Yes! This is an issue that happens a few times, so what you do is, you just delete cubed shaders. And you re-import them. This shouldn't happen, but it happens sometimes. I don't know, I've had that a few times with the newer versions of cube shaders. Hey Mai, how you doing? There we go. Everything crisp and clean again. Let's hop into our materials, and we still have this. Oh no, now it's working. See, now the black stuff is gone, so Cubed Unity was actually acting up. Perfect. So this is ready, but if you go your settings panel, you're locked in. What do I do now? You hop on over to VRChat SDK and you click Show Build Control Panel, and this is like the main thing you're going to be using for avatar uploads. I'm going to tell you, please add a scene descriptor or avatar. You're going to be like, huh? What does that mean? Basically, you click on your model. Hey Lanoop, how you doing? You click on your model, you click on this side in the inspector, add component, and you're gonna type in avatar. Yeah, then VRC avatar descriptor. If you have a female model, change this to female. This is also where you add your Y seams. If you have the fix, you click auto detect, it should do everything. If you don't have the fix, what you do is you click Y seam blend shape. This is gonna be empty here. What you do is you click on your model here, the little arrow, and you drag this body mesh over into here, and you're gonna have to assign all of these to the one that matches. So sill, you go in here and you choose the sill one. PP, you choose the PP one, and so on and so on. You fill all these up. It's just more convenient to have your autofill script. So if you move around your scene, you're gonna notice this ball right here that's popping up now that you added the descriptor. This is basically where your model's viewpoint is gonna be. You wanna move that in your model's head. This is where you adjust it. This is the view position thing. You're just gonna play around with the settings here a bit. You're gonna go like, it's a bit too low. Let's try 1.425 or something. You can hop into a side view here. And then you're gonna see, yeah, this is good, but it's like in front of my model. I think that 0.05 is basically a really good setting to get it exactly behind the eyes. This is where you wanna have it. So, we got it here. Now, our viewpoint is in our model's head, exactly where we want it. We have our vising set up, so our mouth will work. Then you hop on over to the build control panel, you hit your upload thingy. Not gonna be able to upload it if it's over 20k polys. Unless you use a modified SDK, which can get you banned, so I tell you don't do it. Unless you wanna risk it. You basically then click the little button on it, which says build and publish, and it's gonna give you this, where you can put in a name for your avatar. This is what it will show up as in your avatar list in VRChat. So you can put in whatever. I'm just gonna call this pink-haired avatar because I'm very creative. You're gonna have to click the above information is accurate, and I have the rights to upload this content. And you're gonna have this picture, but like, what if I want to edit this picture? Well, that's easy. Hop back into the scene view. You're gonna have this new camera here, and you can just move this around the way you want. You select it by clicking left click, and you can do different things by using hotkeys or the buttons up here. Basically, to get the movement stuff, you press W or click this. This allows you to move your camera around. If you press E or this thing up here, you're gonna be able to rotate your camera. W changes back. R is for scaling, doesn't really do much on a camera. T is for scaling parts, which doesn't really work on this except for changing the field of view of your camera. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press W and I'm gonna like bring it up to my face. I don't need the T-posing body. Then I want to have a clear background, so what you do is you change skybox over here on the camera settings to solid color. You can change the color you want to have. Like this. Hop on over here if you're happy with it, click upload and your avatar is uploading. But there is a little thing you can change to make your uploads a lot faster. That is going to the VRChat SDK, hitting settings, and turn off future-proof publish. We've been playing around with this setting a lot, and we still have no idea what the fuck it does. Like, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. The only thing it does is increases your avatar upload time. If you turn it off, it's uploading a lot faster. The model's gonna work perfectly fine. You can override it still, and we have no idea what it does actually. So I recommend turning it off, and then uploading your avatar once again. Hitting that upload button instead of cancelling out. And yeah, then your avatar will be uploaded and you will be able to use it in game. And that's the most basic way to import an avatar. And honestly, you can get this done in 10 minutes. Like a super basic one. Now, what if we want to add cool stuff like animations and cool shit? Or dynamic bones, because we have the plugin. Well, relatively easy. Once again, select your model. You can close these so it's not as cluttered. and you add dynamic bones instead of an avatar descriptor. You add dynamic bone. And you're gonna be greeted by this. It looks complicated, but it's really easy. So root, you want to select a bone here that is the root bone of what's moving. So let's say I want to have my hair moving, so I navigate throughout my model's hierarchy. I have all of this stuff here. There's a lot of things. Usually you go through hips, spine, chest, neck, into the head, drag that into here. Open the head up. There's gonna be a few things you don't want to have moving with dynamic bones, like glasses and the eyes. Now how do I get rid of those? Well, there's an exclusions tab down here. What you can do is you can use the IL and just drag it on the thing exclusions. It will add an exclusion. You can do this with every single one thing you don't want to move. Easy like that. I recommend not putting a yes, you can make a hair root in Blender too. I'm gonna get to that later, Teddy. We're just doing the absolute basic things right now. So I'm gonna get rid of all this. You don't want to add a dynamic bone to your hips because the hip bone will fuck up your model when you sit down if you have a dynamic bone on it. So just don't do it. So we have our tongue, we have our eyes, we have all of that sorted out, stuff that we don't want to have moving. Yep, like this. And now, well, if I move my model around, it's still static. Well, that is because you're not in play mode. You have to go over in play mode, go into the scene view, and now if you move your stuff around, it will move. But it's gonna look absolutely horrible because dynamic bone default settings are horrible. I have no idea who the fuck made these, but they're not gonna work on anything. Like, what the fuck is gonna move like this? Absolutely disgusting. So I have some values I usually use for this, and I have them over in my model folder. Actually, it's not in my model folder, I'm a liar. I have it in my pictures folder. Where's my open a new window? There we go. And I have this, and this is the base values I use for hair, and then I play around with them. So these are 0.337, 0.05, 0.774, and 0.764. And now if we hop into play mode and we move our model around, it's not moving at all because it's way too fucking soft for this model. Jesus Christ. Okay, bad settings for long hair. Remember that. Okay, we have different hair too. I have this stuff too. I have a lot of settings, so you're just gonna have to try out a few. It's best to just play around with stuff. So let's try this stuff. This is a bit more flowy. Like, dynamic ones is literally just testing different settings and see which one works best. Also, this hair is fucking garbage, honestly, not gonna lie. Let's take off a bit of stiffness. You can work on it in play mode. There you go, we're getting somewhere. I want it to be a bit more flowy, so I'm turning on dampening, a bit more damping. This hair is really horribly weight painted, so it looks horrible regardless of what we do. This looks okay-ish, I'd say. So I changed values in play mode. If I'm gonna exit play mode, they're gonna revert. So what you want to do is, after you change your values in play mode, make sure to copy the component, then end play mode. And as you can see, it reverted all of the settings I made. So paste the values, they're gonna be here. And you're gonna be happy, you have your moving hair, woohoo! Really simple. As I said, dynamic bones is literally just playing around with it. Now, let's say I have dynamic bones on my hair and I wanna be able to move. I wanna be able to move my hair if I put my hands through it. That's where colliders come in. What you do is, you want to put colliders in your hands. So, I'm gonna hop on over, go through my left shoulder, all the way down to the middle finger, and add a dynamic bone collider. This thing is gonna be huge. So turn this down to like something like this. This is a good size for a collider. And this is also like literally perfectly aligned here. I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm gonna copy this because I want the same thing on my other hand. So I'm gonna go down the right shoulder this time. Middle finger, there we go. And click over here and paste component as new. And I'm gonna have it right here. Now we have our two colliders set up, but how does it know which colliders work with which? So what you do is, same thing with the exclusions, but now use the colliders tab. So you drag in your middle finger here and this one. Both are added. It's not gonna move though because these bones have like barely any range. So what you do is you add a little bit of radius to them, like this, or even a bit more if you want to. I go with something like this. This is basically the radius that the bones will react to the colliders. So if this yellow circle hits the white circle, it will move the hair out of the way. And there you go. Simple colliders added. And you can do this with anything. It's the same thing with boobs. If your boobs have bones, you can add dynamic bones to them. You can add colliders and you'll be able to move them in game. Same thing with thighs. Same thing with clothes. You're gonna be able to move them if you add dynamic bones and colliders to them. That is if they have bones that you can add dynamic bones to. Really simple. So, we got dynamic bones and colliders done. Let's look over to our schedule. We're here. Adding animations. Yes. Well, your model is gonna be really fucking dead. Because all it does is have this facial expression. It's gonna blink. It's gonna have mouth movement. But you're not gonna be able to like smile or stuff. And we're gonna add animations to it. So what you do is you duplicate your model by selecting it, pressing Ctrl D, and you scroll up here. You go to your main model and you click this little checkbox to hide it, so you still only have your copy. You're gonna hop on over to animation. This window might not be here for you. What you do is hop over to window and click animation. It's gonna pop up somewhere you can drag it. Like it's gonna pop up probably like this. It's gonna pop up and you can just hit the little tab thing and drag it down here like this. And then we have our animation window down here. What you do is you create an animation clip for whatever you want to have. I'm gonna make a happy animation. So what you do is we have our blend shapes. So where are they? Well, remember the body thing that we dragged in for the device seams? This is actually where your blend shapes are. There, you click on here, and you click here, and you have your blend shapes, all of them. Now, 0 is shape key off, 100 is shape key at full. I'm just gonna learn as when you upload this as a video for YouTube. Yes, you can do that. You can click through it again. Too hard to follow and hard. Yes, I can understand that. It's a lot easier when you're able to scroll back and forth through things you didn't understand. If you have questions, make sure to ask them. I'll gladly answer them. So we have this stuff. We have our animation stuff ready. Is first Q still here? Q, you wanted to know about animations. I'm just gonna make sure you're here. Yes, you're here. Okay, so we're gonna go to animations. So, well, this animation clip, you can literally animate any change on your model. This is gonna be mind blown. You can animate way more than this. You can add material changes, so like part of your model vanishes and changes colors and all of that fancy stuff. We're gonna go over the basic stuff. I'm gonna show you how to record any change to your model, and you're gonna be able to apply this to anything. So you're gonna be able to make any kind of animation. So what you do is you make sure the record button is on. Your model is gonna go down into a B pose. This is perfectly normal, do not worry. And once you're in record mode, you can now start making stuff. So, for a happy animation, a laugh is a happy face. Here we go, happy face. And we want to add a face like this. It's gonna jump up and down. It's really weird in Unity sometimes. So we're gonna add like something like this. Maybe add like... Okay, this looks disgusting. You're just gonna have to play around. See all the different things. Maybe instead of doing this, we're gonna do this. Her tongue looks fucking disgusting. There we go. She's gonna stretch her tongue. She's happy. Very happy with life, yes? So, down here we have all the changes. Even the shape keys we don't want to use anymore. The ones we just tried out. So what you can do is you can just delete them. And now we have our shape keys here. And what you want to do is... You want to skip ahead one frame. A single frame. Hit the top keyframe. Press Ctrl C to copy. And Ctrl V to paste. And now if I play this clip, it's gonna be like this. Why do you want it to be one frame? Relatively simple. You're gonna tie this to a hand gesture in VRChat. So let's say if you do a peace sign in VRChat, you want to have a happy face. And if you make this longer than one frame, you're gonna be stuck in that pose for however long the animation is. Let's say you make a happy face for 10 seconds in Unity. You're gonna be stuck in your hand pose for 10 seconds smiling even though you don't want to smile anymore. So you make them as short as possible so it's only as long as you hold your hand gesture. We have that. But the big thing is, it will override your default hand gesture, which means if you do a peace sign now, your hands will look like this. And this right here is where our muscle editor comes in. Make sure to hide window, muscle animation editor. I like to drag this thing, not up here, but over here. It's gonna add all these dots over here. You can do this without the muscle animation editor, which is like you go through your bones and you hop into like all of this way down and you rotate your bones around. I told you ease the key for rotation and you just rotate them, which is really a lot of work. And the muscle animation editor makes this a lot easier. What you do is you hop on over here and you have all of this stuff. Make sure you're in record mode or else this is not gonna work. And let's say I want to have a peace animation, so what I do is I get close here. I'll have a look at this and I'm gonna start with the thumb and I'm gonna go through the thumb stretch right here like this, down here, down to left fingers, and you can activate different parts here if they have bones for it, that is. I'm gonna adjust the thumb the way I want it. I want it to be like laid onto my hand, something like this. It's gonna take a while. There's default hand gesture overrides you can use. You have to download them somewhere though. There we go. Like this is like the base thing. For a peace sign, actually for a peace sign you would lay them over, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. It's gonna lag sometimes a bit, that's a Unity thing, it does that. So first finger done, and you do that with the other fingers too. You just go, let me stretch this one out, let me stretch this one out, and twirl these inwards. Now, I wanna use the spread too. It's gonna allow me to adjust like the rotation of the bone. So you can do this a bit more in depth. There you go. Now we have it on one side, but it's not on the other one. Well, easy clap. Just click copy to the mirror side. Easy then. Now you have like your hand gesture again on here, ready to use. Make sure once again to copy your keys over to the second frame. And now when you play it, it's gonna look like this. And there you go. You have your first animation clip done. And you can make as many as you want. And obviously you're limited to how many hand gestures you have. You can only override default hand gestures or emotes. Don't worry, Nod. You can watch through the VOD, every single one, skip through it. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube probably as well. And then you're gonna be able to get through it. So, easy as that. Animation done. You can make as many as you want. Once you're done with your animations, make sure to delete your duplicate because this animation slave we're not going to use anymore. There we go, now we have our main model again. It's T-posing exactly how we want it. How are we going to get the animations on the model now though? So what you do is, you hop on over into your folder for your VRChat SDK, examples, sample assets, animations, and there's a custom override empty controller. Duplicate this with Control D. Move it up into your assets folder. It's gonna be here. If you click on it and hit F2, you're gonna be able to rename it. I'm gonna call it model animations. And I have it here. Now, you see all of the animations VRChat uses are in here. And then there's your default finger animations like victory, which is the peace sign. Thumbs up, which is pointing your thumb up, obviously. Rock and roll, which is like the rock hand thing. Hand open, which is when you have your hand completely open. Handgun, when you point your thumb and your index finger. Fist, when you have it closed. All of this stuff. You have your emotes here as well. You can put animation clips in here and they're gonna override your emote menu. All of this. Now, we want to override the victory pose because we have our happy clip, and what you do is literally just drag it in here. You have it in your controller template. Now, our model doesn't use this controller template yet, so what you do is click your model, and in your avatar descriptor that you added earlier, you're gonna have custom standing atoms and sitting atoms. And what you do is you drag your animation controller in both of those. And then your model is going to use all the animations that are in this controller. Relatively simple. Thank you, Ravis Dream, and First Q for the follows, my boys. Really appreciate it. Relatively easy. Now you have your first animation clip done. If you want to edit an animation clip, what you do is you duplicate your model again, and you can drag it on here, and it's gonna have the animation clip again, right here. If you want to add additional ones, you can use one duplicated model for all of your animations, and then delete that model, and you have your animations clips. You click on here and you create a new clip, and then you can make a new animation, and you're gonna have like, I don't know, have a new animation clip you can work with, and you can do a new face and everything. You're gonna have a new animation file wherever you saved it, and you can drag it in here into thumbs up. Yes, thank you Noob, have a good one, my dude. Once again, new animation clip and you got this stuff done. Relatively easy, isn't it? Let's say I want to use a custom, but when it comes to head switching, apply items and models, we're gonna come to that in a second. Nod. So, there's one more thing. What if I don't want to use the default blinking animation from this here, the one we created with the eye tracking creation, and I want to make a custom one that I can disable whenever I have a facial animation. So let's say I make a happy face. I don't want my model to blink while I make a smiling face, right? Because that doesn't make sense. Like I have my eyes closed. Why would it blink? Well, how to edit sitting pose of your model? You mean the way it would sit in a chair? You can do the same thing. You can go over here to your animation clips, and I think there's one for sitting. I don't even know if there's one for sitting. I don't think they have ones for sitting because they use their default ones for sitting. Walk forward, walk back, thumbs up, strafing, sprinting, running, proning. They don't have one. You mean like sitting as a female or a male? Like, how does it know when to cross its legs or when to sit normal like a male? That's done over here. In your avatar descriptor, you can change this to male or female. This will change your sitting pose. But you can't use a custom sitting pose as far as I know. I don't think those work. Nope. There's no controller for that. Like the biggest customization you have for this is literally changing it to male or female. Thank you for the follow, Halux. Really appreciate it, my dude. Okay, now what we wanted to do is we wanted to make our custom blinking. So to do that from beginning on, when you create your eye tracking, make sure to disable blinking when you create it, so you don't have a blinking animation. If you already have it, you can get rid of it by going on your model, going to the shape keys as I showed you earlier, and getting rid of the two blinking and lower lid shape keys, deleting them, exporting your FBX again, like this. You're gonna have it in here again, where you have your model, right here. What you do is right click here, show in Explorer. You're gonna have this, and what you do is you replace the FBX. Make sure not to drag just the FBX in here. Again, it will create a new one, and you can throw in your FBX. Sadly, gotta go. See ya. No worries, my dude. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. So we have this. Our FBX is getting overwritten. This time, it's not gonna have any blinking animations. We're gonna make a custom one. So once again, make a slave, add animation, blinking, and we're gonna do, once again, we're gonna hop in record mode. This animation you can make as long as you want, because we're not gonna bind it to an eye thing. So let's say we're gonna do a blinking. So we have a keyframe here at 0. Like this. Skip forward a few frames, change this to 100. Skip forward a few frames, change it to 0. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna be a bit slow. For more of a one-on-one learner. Oof. Not as a standard manual, he has a specific pose. He's probably using an animation clip for that then. Okay, so we have this. We obviously don't want it to blink this much, so we're gonna add like a keyframe way more over here. Change it to 0 again. Make sure you have a keyframe added for 0. There we go. Now we have a blinking animation like this. It's gonna pause in between. It's gonna blink again. And you can make this as long as you want. You can make it as detailed as you want. We can do this. Make like a double blinking thing. Whatever you want, really. This is all up to you. You can customize this to how much you like. You can make whatever you want, and then we have our blinking animation like this. There we go. And what we do with this is we save it, get rid of this, and on our main model, you add an animation. Now, we have our blinking here. We have our blinking here. We need to edit something for this clip to be used as an animation. So you hop up here, this little icon up here, super small. Click on debug, legacy, hop back into normal, change this to loop. And now what you can do is, you can drag this animation clip in here. You have this wonderful blinking. And what you do, if you hop into play mode over here, we're gonna see that it should play our fucking blinking. There we go. Our model has our custom blinking animation. It's always gonna play through it. And now the thing is, we can disable this whenever we want just by doing this. It's gonna stop blinking. Yes, we can re-enable it. It's gonna start blinking. And what you can do is, if you duplicate your model again and you hop into your happy shape key, what you can do is, in your animation, turn the blinking off while your animation is running, just like this. Add a keyframe, make sure you have two keyframes where the animation is disabled, just like that. Make sure you're in record mode when you turn this off. And this way, you're not going to be blinking while your facial expression is running. As soon as your facial expression is over, you're going to start blinking again. Relatively simple. Can I show this actually? Yeah, when we're in this, while we're in here, you see it's not blinking. I can turn the blinking on. It's gonna scuff. Actually, it's gonna turn it off because this animation is constantly playing. But I guess the same way we'd use here. You can use this here to show it. You know, actually, I'm dumb. I need to delete this and hide, show the main model. There we go. Here we go. We have our blinking once again, and we can disable it. And that's the way it works. Like, as soon as your happy animation is over, the blinking will automatically activate again because that's like the default stance for your model, and you will be able to blink relatively easy. That's how you add a custom animation. You can do this with anything. Like, you can add a little fairy to your model and make its wings flap in a blend shape and add it as an animation clip that you can turn on and off whenever you want. That's also how you can do way more complex animations. You can do long animations and then just trigger the animation by enabling or disabling the animation clip in a one frame thing. Truly useful. And that's literally it. Now, you could upload this. This is done. We have a custom blink animation. This is really cool already. Easy clap. And this is literally as in-depth as I'm gonna go with Unity. Like, I showed you how to do basic dynamic bones. You can apply that to boobs as well. You just have to play around with the settings. You're gonna have to make sure you have bones in them so you can use dynamic bones and all of that stuff. Now, you could also use these animations for props and stuff. Like, you can make shape keys for props, like a knife on your model and stuff like that. And that's what we're gonna get into now. We're gonna hop on over into complex editing in Blender. This is the more in-depth stuff right now, boys, and this will get complicated, and I hope you guys will be able to pay attention. Let's start with basic mesh editing. Let's say we want to edit something on our model. We're not happy with how this code is so far stretched out. And what we do here is we separate by materials first up because it's easier to work with. Once it's done, I want to work on the code only. So what I do is I'm gonna select the armature, hide it, hide the hair, hide this. I showed you how to hide stuff. I'm gonna turn on screencast keys anyway again to know what I'm pressing. Select, hide, right click to select, H to hide. Do it to all of this. I don't need this, don't need this, don't need this. Okay. Now, we want to edit this part. This is still 2 parts, but we hit everything else. So what we can do is press A twice and press J. Control J, sorry, to join this into one part. And to edit it, what you do is you press tab to hop into edit mode, and you're gonna get a view like this. You're only gonna get the polys for what you're looking at right now because this is turned off. Turn on, select to invisible, and you're gonna see like the stuff that's hidden behind it as well. So, let's get to the basics. You have 3 selection modes for stuff here. The vert selection mode, which is like the points where all the lines connect. You can move these around. You have edge, which is the lines themselves, and you have planes, which is like a whole triangle. I usually sit in vert mode. Now, we wanna move this jacket part inwards a bit. So what we do is we select this part here, hold shift, select this part here, and this is your best fucking friend. This is proportional editing. This makes everything easier. What we do is we enable this, and now I want to move these closer, so what I can do is scale them on X. So I press S for scaling. You're gonna notice, oh, it's gonna move a lot more than I want. That's because on default this is scrolled out a lot, so we click S and you scroll in. I'm gonna press X because I want to scale on the X-axis because I want it to go inwards. This will only work when you have median point select. These are different modes where your mesh will move. So active element is the last thing you selected, it will move towards that. Median point is the center of your selected parts. Individual origin should scale everything you selected individually based on its origin. 3D cursor is this cursor you can place with left click. And bounding box center is the center of your current view. So I'm gonna go and do median point. I'm gonna press scale and X because I want to scale on the X-axis. And then I can scale this inwards, and I want to move more, so I scroll out. I want to move less, so I scroll in. And you can do all of this. And sometimes you will get stuff that's not connected to it moving with it. And you can fix this by changing this to connect it. It will only move stuff that's connected to it. But then you're gonna have problems like this. Like this should be connected, right? But it isn't. That's because we split it up before and we moved back together. What you do is press A twice, select everything, hit spacebar to get your search, type and remove doubles. Do that, and now you can reselect your stuff here. When you do this, connected will work. Because these words get connected. What remove doubles is, it will merge things that are overlapping. So let's say if we have this point, and there's two different materials that are running together and they both share this exact point, it will merge them together into one point. And it will connect the both of the meshes is what they're called. So I want to scale this inwards a bit. And we can rotate this too, rotate this on the y-axis a bit. Do the same thing over here and so on. You'll get the thing. You're guys gonna have to play around with this. I can't explain much of this. This is literally just a learning by doing thing. Move stuff wherever you want it. Same up here, like, I don't like this. What I can do is hold Alt and right click. And if I'm lucky enough, I will get an edge loop, which I'm not over here. I'm not lucky enough. So this doesn't work over here, sadly, with the small. Usually would select the circle around. There you go, it works here. This is an edge loop, like, if I hold Alt and select this, it will go around in a circle because this edge loop is a thing. You can stretch this stuff out and stuff. Just play around with these editing modes, you're gonna learn from it. Now, this is like the simplest way of editing and customizing mesh. Hop back into edit mode, unhide everything, join it back together. Let's say we wanna make our thighs look better. So what we do is separate by materials again. Hide all of this stuff. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't want to keep this. We don't need this. We want to keep this because we want to scale with it. Now what we do again. Once again, hide everything you really don't need. This makes your life easier, believe me. Do this clean and you're gonna have an easier time. I know the fingernail. Okay, we hit the fingernails. There you go. Now what you do is you once again double A, Control J to join this into one mesh. Hop into editing mode. And for thighs, what I like to do is subdivide, which basically adds a few things. Thank you, Nexus.
Box hugs. Hope you have a good stream, Race Love.
Yes, thank you very much. So what you do is, you hop into your editing mode once again by hitting tab. You press C to get like this little circle you can select stuff with. You can scroll in and out to make it bigger or smaller. And I'm just gonna select this right here. These. And hit Control plus. Have a little bit of more of a little bit of a bigger view here. And what I do is I subdivide these. So once again, hit spacebar for your search bar. Subdivide, it will add more detail to it. I'm gonna subdivide this twice actually. And now I want to make my files bigger. So what I do is I select this. I select this. Change this mode, pivot point mode, to individual origins. Hit S. And what you do is you hit Shift and Z, which basically, if you scale it, and you do X, you can scale on X, Y on Y, and so on, Z on Z. And what you do is, if you do Shift and an axis, you will scale it on every axis except the one you chose. So if I do Shift and Z, I will scale it on the Y axis and the X axis here. So I'm gonna do this, and I want to make my files a bit bigger, so I do this, and I just drag out a little bit. Like this. But they're moving a bit too close for my liking, so I do median point. And I scale it on X. Like this. I get it outwards a bit more, right? Like this. Now we have a bit more thickness here on our model. You can do this as much as you want, you just gotta practice a little bit, play around with it. Same goes for boobs. This is literally the same way. You can scale them out and drag them out. There's not much to do in this model because it has really tight clothes here. Like this would be how you would scale this out. You can do the same thing on the butt. Like if I wanted to make this butt bigger, I would probably separate by materials again here, to be fair. And hide all of this because we joined it earlier. There's not much to see because this thing is black. It's really hard to work with this, so what we can do is we can go to the material tab and take our material and change the color here to white or something you want. Makes it easier to see the verts on it. You can select everything here, hit double A, subdivide it. Once again, gives us more detail to work with. And for booty, you choose two verts that are next to each other basically, or on the mirror side. And for booty, what I like to do is make sure this is on proportional editing. Just drag it out on Y a little bit. Make sure medium point is selected and scale it on X a little bit. Scale it on Z a little bit if you feel like it. And you keep doing this until you have something you like. You're not going to be able to see much here because of how the shading works, but here you go. It's a bit more of a defined booty. And so now we can change this back to what it was. We're going to have a little bit of a bigger booty on our model. And you're going to see it's a little bit dragged out on the bottom here, because we obviously dragged out in this mode. And what you do is you change to the side view with hitting numpad 3. Select both of these, like you're gonna have both verts of this right behind each other. So what you can do is click once and then hold shift and click again. You're gonna have both selected. You can drag them in again where they belong. It's gonna clip a little bit, so we drag it out a little bit again, and there we go. Now we have a weird looking booty because I did this like super quick. Got to head off to a house tour. Bye for now. Have a good one, Nexus. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate it. That's like super basic editing stuff. This is really as easy as it gets. As I said, this is gonna sound complicated, but you're just gonna have to practice this stuff. Just play around with it. Get used to it. You're gonna get a hand for it. You're gonna get a grip for it. Okay. Well, I really don't like the head on my model. So I'm gonna get rid of all this top here. I really don't like this model's head. So I'm gonna try and get something else in here, right? Now, I still have all these bones that don't really make sense. So what you can do is select your armature, delete 0 weight bones. You're still gonna keep these. You can get rid of these by selecting your armature, hopping also into edit mode by hitting tab, selecting this bone, hitting shift and G. Select children and delete them. Just get rid of them. Now, I've already prepared the head on an normal. So what you can do is, you would just do what I just did, separate by materials, and you would delete everything but the head. You want to keep the head, delete all the bones you don't need, keep the head bones. And now I'm gonna get this in from... Oh my god, her head! I'm gonna get, if I can find it, where the fuck do I have my shit? Here we go, this is where I have the head. And I have a head here. Fix this head up first, make sure to select the head. There we go, move it up. Once again with G and on the Z axis, I wanna move it up. G on the X axis, I wanna move it a bit more to the middle. And I'm gonna look here and I'm gonna see, oh, this isn't really connected. So I'm gonna hide everything that's in the way, so I can have a clean way of working on this. This is easiest to just select the armature of the head to work with. You're gonna see something here. This is typical for TDA models. This is the TDA head cut. See how this exactly cut the way like this head also is? This is a TDA head cut. This is very common. So what I do here is press Z to get into this editing mode. It makes it a lot easier for aligning shit. And then just try to align it as much as possible here, like on the back here, at the front there. Look, I'm pretty happy with this. It's pretty good. So To get back into your null view, MMD shading, change to shadeless. There you go. I'm gonna hide both armatures. What I'm gonna do is select the head, hold shift and select the body, press Ctrl J to join them, hop into edit mode, and this is where it gets fun. I don't want to have this ring on here right now while I'm working on this, while I'm connecting this up, so select this thing, press L on it, and hide it. Same thing on this, L and hide it. Now if you zoom in really close, you will see they're not attached, obviously. So the way you do this, really simple. You're gonna hop into Z mode, this makes it easier to work with here. And what you do is, first off, make sure you have the bottom selected and press L on it. Remove doubles again, makes it easier to work with. Do the same thing on the neck. Press L, remove doubles to make sure it's easier to work with. And now, do the same thing here, this is like a double. And we want to merge these two and attach these to each other, obviously, so you're gonna have to find out. I'm gonna turn off the proportional editing for this. You gotta find out which part belongs where. So, you want to connect the body to the head, not the other way around. You don't want to connect the head to the body, you want to connect the body to the head, or else your shape keys will fuck up. So what you do is, you select the first word, this belongs to the body, and then hold shift, select your second part, press Alt M for merging, and do at last. And you see there's a floating vertex, we want to match that into here as well. Do the same thing again. And we're gonna do that all around the model. You're gonna take this one into this one and merge at last. And you keep doing this all the way around the model. This is a bit annoying, but this is like the most effective way to merge your model. And you're gonna do this all the way around. All the way around. Literally all the fucking way around. All the way around. I know I'm saying all the way around a lot, but it's, you literally have to do this all the way around, so I'm just, you know? You just gotta do it all the way around, okay? And since these are both TDA models, this is working really well because they have the same amount of words. Sometimes you're gonna have words that split off like this over here, which I just noticed. I'm gonna go back here and make sure to merge this into here as well. We're already done. And there we go. We're done. We have merged this onto here. You can't see a cut anymore because they are all merged. And a good way to make sure you got everything is hopping into side mode, selecting only on the neck, literally only on the neck, press L, and if it does this, you did it right. Make sure to remove doubles again. There we go. And we've got it connected. Now, we want to get the bones connected into here as well. So what we're going to do real quick is join all the meshes together. We have all this together, but let's hide this. Take the head armature, the armature of the head you merged, select the body armature, press join, hop into edit mode. Hop into the bone tab here to see what bones you have. And you're gonna have two necks, sometimes two heads. And you want to merge them together so the weight painting works. Weight painting basically determines how much part of your mesh moves with your bone. So what you do is, you take neck 001 and you parent it to normal neck and you press merge weights over here in cats. This bone will be deleted, it will be merged into this bone, and you're gonna be fine. And now, we hop into pose mode here and we move this around. You're gonna see this is perfectly connected. Nope, there's only one head. There is no two heads, it's only one head. Have a good one, Ferocious. Now, there's two things here. We have two necklaces, but we only want one. So what you do, once again, just separate it by materials. We don't want this. This one looks way cooler, so we're just gonna get rid of this, honestly. And then join your meshes back up. There you go. And it moves over because we copied the weights. Hey! And now this mole has a whole new head. And this is swapping parts. And this is the same process for hands and everything. Like, you get rid of the old hands, you get rid of the old bones. You might want to keep wrist bones on hands though. Like, this bone right here is the wrist bone. You might want to keep this because this sometimes also has part of the arm on it. So if you merge the weights like I did up here, it doesn't matter if you keep it or not. I would keep the wrist bone if it was to change hands. You're just gonna have to play around with it, as I told you. Model making is all about experimenting, about trying it out. You're not gonna learn from just watching a tutorial like this one. You're gonna have to try it out yourself. You're gonna fail, but at some point you're gonna get better at it, and then you're gonna learn it. You're gonna get better the more you work on it. Why would you feel guilty? So we got that done. This is a head swap. Really easy. Same part with hands, with arms. Literally anything works like this. Sometimes, okay, listen. This is something I want to talk about real quick. Okay. Let me get on this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Okay, let's say I'm just gonna make sure to explain this real quick. Sometimes you have the problem that there's different amounts of words, and you can add a cut to join them. So let's say it was like this. This is the lower part of your model, this is the top part of your model. And you have the lower word like this, but you don't have a word on the top to merge it to. So what you can do is, you click this, you click K, which is the knife tool. You go into a corner, and you drag right onto this. Maybe a little bit next to it, actually. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work because welcome to Blender. I love Blender, dude. There you go. Like this. Enter to confirm. And now you have a word you can merge. Now you can merge these two. Easy as that. Like, just use K to add a new word to wherever you want, and you can merge it. Super easy stuff. Really easy. Fixing bones. Good thing I have this head, because would you look at this? These bones don't make sense, do they? These are hair bones. Why are they like going up here? Well, relatively easy. Hop into edit mode, grab the tail, move it where it belongs by literally just pressing G, moving it down. Make sure to jump on the side too to make sure it makes sense. Where it is. Super easy shit. Isn't this easy? Tell me this is hard. Readjusting bones is so easy. What is this bone? Let's see. This is the B base, so this is the bangs, which is literally this part right here. So this should be in the middle up here, like this. Easy clap. We adjusted our hair bones and we fixed them up. This is so easy. Sometimes your hand bones will be really fucked. It's like you have your fingers like this or some shit. Well, doesn't matter. Just move them where they belong. It's super easy. Like check from the side. Oh yeah, this could go a bit more to the front like this. It's so easy, guys. This is literally just practicing. I don't know which finger is this. Oh, middle finger. Nice. So we gotta go here. You can always check your bone name here. So if you're not sure what it is, just check your bone. Ring finger. There we go. It means it gotta go like a bit in the behind here. Now we can check here again. Move it where it belongs. Easy as that. Bones fixed. Tell me this is hard. This is so easy. You literally just gotta practice a bit and you can do this. Super easy. Fixing weights. Ha. My favorite. My favorite. Thank you KK Dog for following, my dude. Let's say we have this right here. Let me never pause position second poses. This ring thingy, and let me fuck this up real quick so I can show you how you would fix it. I didn't mean to separate by loose parts. That's oof. That takes a lot of time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to press that. Please forgive me, Blender. The cat's update? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get an update notification, no. So we're gonna be sitting here for a while because I'm an idiot and I clicked loose parts. There we go. And now join them back together because I didn't mean to separate by that anyway. Yours looks different. What do you mean? I just have the tabs all out and back this over a bit to make it bigger. Just check for an update. It has an auto updater. You can check for an update, Teddy. There we go. Okay, so what I want to do is separate by materials. So what I told you is weight painting determines how much your mesh moves with a piece of a bone or with a bone. So basically this makes the maul move with the armature. This determines this part of the arm moves with this part of the armature, like the bones, the arm bones and stuff. And it's probably one of the hardest things to learn in Blender in the beginning, but you'll eventually get it. Okay, so we have this. I'm gonna hide everything else than this. And the armature. Now, you will need to put your armature into pose mode and you need to get this into weight paint mode, and you're gonna see this is what a good weight paint looks like for a bone like this. I'm gonna fuck it up. There we go. This is a super fucked weight painting. This doesn't make any sense. If we were gonna use this right now, wait, let me make sure pose position's on so I can turn the bones. Look at this. Doesn't this look beautiful? This is exactly the way it's meant to be, right? So props like this that are only bound to one bone are super easy to fix weight painting on. You just have to go into weight paint mode. You have your hotkeys here on the tools. You can see which brush you currently have selected. One is the brush that adds weight painting. 2 is the brush that blurs it out. 3 is darkening. I don't use any of these. I literally use add, blur, and subtract. So 1, 2, and 8. Strength determines how much weight painting you apply. For stuff like this, you want to have this turned on, so it's gray, so you can paint through stuff. This is the same thing as the vertex mode thingy. It's the same thing as showing the vertices that are behind what you're currently looking at. I'm just gonna paint over this with one. Make sure this is all selected. Now it's gonna all move with this as it's meant to be. This is literally the way it's meant to be. And if I want to remove the weight painting, I can subtract it again. Now it's not gonna move at all. If I want to part of it to move with it, I can do that. And so on, you get the basic concept. You get how it works. And then you have parts like this, where two parts match each other. And what you do for these is, I'm gonna show it on here. You wanna change the strength to 0.5. Let me remove this real quick, there you go. And you wanna do 0.5 on one part of it, like this. 0.5 like this. And let's say I would have another bone here. Let me actually do this real quick just to show you guys. I'm gonna add another bone. Like this, we have a second bone. And you would do this. So each of these moves 50% of it. Make sure that on your thingy in the armature modifier preserve volume is checked, or it's gonna scale on points like this. There you go. This moves half of it. Like as you can see, I'm moving every 2 rotations is 1 rotations on this thing. Same here. And this is how these parts work. You have to mix weighting, blur it out a bit between the bones, make sure to get a good weight mix there, and then you're just gonna have to play around with it. And once again, this is a thing you have to practice, and then you get better at it. And yeah, I'm gonna remove this bone again because we don't need it. I'm gonna fix this weight painting again. There we go. This is the way it's meant to be. I guess what I mean here. See how this bends? Gotta reload the texture sometimes because Blender is really great. So as you can see, like this is a bit scuffy here. I don't like this. I want to fix this up. So let me put this into weight paint mode. Press Z. You get like an untextured view. And you can see, oh yeah, this is scuffy. Like this reaches way up here. Like your joint is here. This reaches way up here. And this just barely goes down here. So what I'm going to do is gonna hop into 0.1 here. Just add a bit more weight painting to it. And then blur it out. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Blur this out a bit more. And you're gonna have the same problem with preserve volume not being checked. There you go. There we go. I would actually take a bit of the weight painting off this thing, not gonna lie. Let me just reset the pose real quick that I made here. There we go. I'm gonna take off the weight painting a bit because it shouldn't be up here anyway. As I said, just try around with these things. You're just gonna have to try them out. There you go. This is better. There you go. This looks good. And this is how you fix weights. Really easy. Once again, a thing you have to practice. Gonna have to reload materials here. Let's reload the textures. This sometimes goes. Hey, Looney Luna. How you doing? Please Christ, I nearly read your name wrong. I'm really sorry. And you would do that with every single one of these. But these are literally all the same materials, slightly different colored. So that brings me to a point which should be last, but we're gonna get into it right now. Avatar optimization, atlasing and bone merging. Jesus fucking Christ. Things like this, easy to fix. Make sure you have your model joined. Hop into edit mode. I'm doing pretty good, thank you for asking. Hop into edit mode, and you can select by materials actually. So what we do is we select this material and assign this material. We do the same thing here, assign this material. And then if we hop on over here in cats, optimization, combine some materials, this will all get merged into one material. You can do this with all of these things. They're like super close to each other, these textures. Feels bashes, man. Is this even used still? Oh yeah, there's these things down here. Chucker. Okay, that's what it's called. There we go. Now, where do we go? We did this. Fixing weights. Advanced retexturing. Hell yes. Let's say I want to add something to my model like this back here. This. Now, this would usually be hard to find on a texture if it wasn't already there. So what you do is you hop into edit mode and you just select all of this. Make sure you select it. And then you drag out a new window here. Change into UV/image editor. And you'll get something like this on your UV map. You'll see that this is the texture accessories.png and it's down here. This part is the texture that it takes. What you do is hit UVs, export UV layout, call it uv.png or whatever, and what you do is hop on over here, get your accessories texture, and I have no idea where the fuck I put my UV map. Where did I put my UV map? There we go, UV. And in Photoshop you can just drag it in and it will be exactly on this part and you know exactly which part to retexture. And you can get your hands on this, start retexturing it. Hello Sneaky, how you doing? Super easy to export UVs and work on these parts. What you want to do though is you want to texture a bit outside of it. Like as you can see here, this is textured over it a bit because the UV isn't always like super correct. It goes a bit over it sometimes. I'm okay, how's you? I'm doing good. I'm doing the explains. So for now what I could do is I could get rid of this thing because it's ugly as fuck. I mean, I don't really need the UV right now because I know where it is. What I'm gonna do actually here is use the quick select mode, obviously in the right layer. I'm just gonna give this a solid fill. Shit like this, and then you can put whatever you want on. You make sure to put it sideways like that. I don't know what to put. you, learning Blender, best way is doing it yourself, having like a base guideline to learn from, and work from there on. That's like the thing I can tell everyone. You're not gonna learn Blender from watching just tutorials. You're gonna have to try it out yourself. You're gonna have a few failures in the beginning. It's perfectly fine, but you're gonna get better at it the more you practice. It's like drawing. You're not gonna be perfect at drawing in the beginning. You're gonna have to slowly get your way into it. Slowly try more complicated things. Like on the beginning, just try to get your first avatar set up. Maybe retexture parts of it. Maybe try some animations, try some dynamic bones. Like, try that as your first avatar, then maybe try to make like the thighs a bit thicker and stuff. Try your first edits, slowly get used to it, and then learn from it. I can only advise you also to watch avatar streams, and if you see something that you would like to know, ask the person how they did it. They're most likely gladly gonna explain it to you. So, that brings us to the last part, requests. Is there anything you guys want to see? You guys have any questions? Yes, exactly, not all this stuff. Try it out. You're not gonna learn it from just watching tutorials. You're gonna have to try it out. Prefabs. How to make a prefab? Literally one of the easiest things ever. In Unity you can make prefabs like I'm pretty sure I have a prefab here. Let me find it. Here, sign prefab, which is this little sign. Basically prefabs are pre-made things like particle systems, or like this sign right here. Or like pre-made things that you can drag into your scene, add to your avatar, and there's a lot of things that can be literally anything can be a prefab. Animations to happen as well, like spells, particle effects, and I missed what he said. Yes, you can literally. There's two ways of doing it. There's just dragging it literally onto a bone. You can drag your particle system on here. If you want to have it on your sword specifically, you can drag it onto your sword, and you can literally, in the animation, when you're in record mode, just hide it like this. Just hide it or unhide it, and that way you can make it show up. It literally, any changes you make to your avatar while in record mode will be put into the animation. You can do so much with it. You can change materials, all of that, as I told you. Yes. So, and how would I make my own prefab, you might ask? Shaders. Yes. We have it right here. Adding shaders. Basic shaders. We went over Cube Uni shaders. There's a lot more shaders. There's so many shaders. And I can't really cover all of that. There's so much stuff. Basic guideline. You're always gonna go material. Add your shader up here, play around with it, see what looks good, do whatever you want to do with it. Like I have snail shaders. Let me show you, okay? Like I can't. There's shaders are so diverse. You can't really do much. I can show you real quick. So let's say I have this sphere. Let's hop into play mode. This is not gonna get saved, but I'm just gonna hop in here real quick. Let's say I'm making myself a new material with a snail shader on the poly color wave, which is a really cool shader. I'm gonna throw this on here. You can see it's really easy. You just drag the material on here and just boom, shader that changes color every X seconds. And you can just change through all these different shaders and do whatever you want to do with them, really. I have so many fucking shaders. You can play around with these. Whatever you want to do with them, really. Where do you get the shaders? That's what I want to know. If anybody brings up VRC mods, I will actually murder you. Okay, listen. Anybody that uses this page, no. No. VRC mods. If I see anybody using a VRC mods avatar, I usually block them. VRC mods avatars are fucking garbage. They're unoptimized pieces of shit. They're oh, I fucking hate VRC mods so much, dude. I can't even. Holy fucking shit, I'm so pissed when somebody brings up VRC mods. This is the worst kind of shit ever. This is literally amateurs making models, sharing them with everyone. And you're gonna have, like, okay, listen, back in January, when the game started to become hype, you had 50 people in the room and it wouldn't lag. Oh, why was that? Because people that actually know how to make avatars made them, and not everybody went to VRC mods, downloaded the first crappy avatar with 5 million polys they could find. Oof, oh my god, I hate VRC mods so much. The only thing you can get, honestly, VRC mods is good for shaders because people have a shit ton on it. Yes, you can get a lot of cool shaders. But I can what is it called? Epic Snail shaders here. These are really fucking cool. There's also the guy that made the hand marker. So these are a lot of shaders. This is all of these right here. Snail. All of these shaders are his. This is a good collection of shaders. These are really, really good shaders. I love them. And otherwise you can buy some off the store. Like I really like vacuum shaders because they're cool as fuck. I can't show them right here because this doesn't have a main map. Let me show this. I have a scene in here. Oh my god, not this one, no. This one here. This is where I used it. This is my sword I'm working on at the moment. And this right here is basically one of the shaders here. And it looks like this. Basically a shader that makes the weapon appear. I'm gonna work on an animation for it. I'm gonna make an animation for it that just makes the sword appear with some particles, and it's super. I fucking love this shader. I love dissolving shaders. They're really, really cool. I'm a big fan of. There's a lot of cool shaders, but I hate people that just throw fucking shaders on them all and call it their own. Like, no, please. I'm gonna make these runes just come in out of nowhere and shit. And you can animate all of this, like, with an animation clip, like I showed you. What you do is you make an animation and put it on the weapon, and then you hide the weapon in the keyframe you want to use. So you can make a giant fucking animation, make an empty, put your animation in there and just hide the empty and trigger it, and that way you can make really, really long animations, and just trigger them on your hand animations without them blocking your hand gestures. I don't even know what else I got in here. Oh yeah, I got the particles that I want to use with that shit. They're over here right now because this is bound. This is a rigid body system. This is like a bit more of a complex particle system. Basically what this does is, instead of sticking to your weapon and moving the particles with it, this moves the particle spawn around. So let me show you this. So the particle system is on this. This means I could put it on my blade like this. Or I can have it wherever I want, and I can put this on my blade. This is the controlling game object. Basically, wherever I move this, the particle spawn will move. Which means, instead of having something like this... Right, this works too, because obviously it's a thing, but like... Okay, it's world particles. This is dumb, because usually it will look like this. Okay, wait, let me get it. Local. Usually it will look like this. Then it's local. Simulate. Usually it will look like this. See, this whole thing moves with it. And if you do it this way, you have a world object, and only the spawn of the particle moves. So the particles that are already there, they will stay where they are. That's how you can make like really cool trails and stuff. I'm gonna scale this down and use it in combination with the appearing shader and just make it appear out of smoke. All of that shit. Like, you can get creative with this stuff. You can get really creative with this stuff. And this is why I love making avatars. You can express whatever you want with your avatar. You can make cool stuff. And then if you optimize your avatar, you have room for particle systems like this. You can throw this shit on here. Because you optimized your avatar in the first place and you have it atlased or whatever. As I said, watch Anubis' tutorial on how to atlas your avatar. It's so worth it. It's not even hard, it just takes a bit of time. And if you're smart and you use Photoshop, for example, or anything that supports smart objects, you can still edit your texture. So if you don't know what a texture atlas is, let me show you this real quick, okay? What did I atlas Justin Mall? Yes, this is a texture atlas. You have one texture where all of your texture files are put into, and you use a single material on your whole model, which is super optimized. And this way, you can, if you keep a PSD file like this, you can still, if these are smart objects, jump into every single texture like this and edit the texture the way you want to. Super easy, and that's literally it. Any other questions you guys have, throw them at me. I'll gladly answer them. You have the chance right here, right now. I'll answer your questions gladly. If you guys don't have any questions anymore, I'm done here. My job is done. You can run through the VOD a few times, learn that stuff. Hop in the Discord. If you have questions, please join the Discord. I'm in there. You can throw me questions regarding avatars. I'll gladly answer them for you guys. If you have a problem with your avatar, just send me a screenshot. I'll try to explain to you how to get part fixed. I can only tell you watch the VOD. You're gonna have 2 hours and 60 minutes of VOD where I explain everything from start, from what stuff you need up here, like the prerequisites, all the tools I use, over to getting the basics down, all of this. And just hop through that and try to do it while watching the VOD. Rewatch parts you don't understand completely. If you have problems with them, hop on over. I'll gladly answer them. Like, seriously, I have no problem with you guys messaging me about avatar stuff if you want to learn. Like, I'm happy for everybody that tries to learn to make their own avatars, that tries to express their themselves through their avatars. And I'm so happy to see all these creative people pop up, work on their avatars, and I'm really happy if I can help them. I'm gonna keep this thing up, this spreadsheet, so you have all the prerequisites and all the stuff you need for making your own avatar. I will drop the link in the Discord, so make sure to join the Discord. I'll pin that shit in the general chat. And yeah. And that's literally that's all I would have planned for today. If you guys don't have any more questions regarding avatar creation, avatar customization, anything, then I'm done here, and my job is done for today. So use your last chance if you want. This is your last chance to ask a question. Just want to point out, in a non-weird way, you have a great voice. That's pretty gay. Thank you. Don't pressure me, my brain only works that fast. Relatable. Yeah. On that side note, let me throw a little plug here. If you're too lazy to make your own avatar, hit me up. I make avatars. Hit me up, boys. I make avatars. If you want to get something done, check out the commission sheet. Yep. And that's literally it.
Drop it.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. If you have no more questions, then we're done here.
Drop it.
I'm wearing socks though, it's not gay. Relatable. Yes, okay. So since there are no more questions, I'm gonna end the stream here today. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope I explained things not too hard. Sometimes I'm shit at explaining. I'm really sorry. If you watch through the VOD and you come across a point where you don't understand what I was explaining, please don't hesitate to message me. And yes, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And with that, I'm gonna be out for today. Thank you guys. It was a nice stream today. I hope it was informative. I hope it wasn't too much to take in. And with that, I'm gonna be out. See you guys tomorrow again for some wall making. Bye bye.
Drop it.